Well, we got one. They give it a few minutes and see if anyone joins us. Hope everybody's doing well. Yes, here I am. How's that camping trip in the backyard? Awesome. That's good. That may be what I have to do. Hope everybody is enjoying their time at home. I imagine a lot of them still working. Cut your index finger on my Uco lantern last night. Been a bad week for me. I kind of messed this hand up a few times. See that knuckle right there? It's healing up a little bit. I cut that probably Monday or Tuesday of this week on tool wrap foil when you're heat treating blades. And then I was pulling a SK out of a Kydex sheath and I sliced that fingertip to the bone. The bone. uh, I had to kind of take a half a day off from that one. I couldn't do anything with that after that. But yeah, ouch. I have to get myself every now and then. But thanks, Bo. I'm glad you like the EDC, man. It's a little it's a little knife that does a lot. It's probably one of the better carvers out there. Yeah, I'd use cayenne pepper on mine. They bled a lot, so I put some cayenne pepper on it, and it stopped bleeding pretty quick. Throwing knives? What do you want to throw knives for? Riverbank catfishing my son. Been cutting bait with a junior woodsman. Man, that is some awesome times right there. Awesome times. Well, that's all right. You throw them knives. Just make sure they don't come back on you. That's not good. I guess it'll sharpen up your reflexes, huh? Hey, Matt, did you get your knives? The boomerang knife. Good. Glad you got them, bud. We'll give everybody a few more minutes to get in on the chat. We'll just kind of chit chat here a minute before I go into what this the production is anyway. Where we at on production? Still want that hat. Okay. Yeah, that junior did turn out pretty sweet. That is a sweet little knife. Yes, I do, Bo. Little patience, buddy. I've got something coming that's gonna blow the socks off the knife world, I think. No, it wasn't, Stephen. It wasn't. I mean, you smell the resin, but the hair, I didn't smell the hair at all. So of course, I had a mask on, but you can still smell the resin a little bit. Um, so it wasn't too bad at all. Actually, Justin should get it in the next day or two. Mail is slow, folks. Mail is getting really, really slow. So give it time. The knives I sent to Canada about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, they still haven't got them. So if you're waiting on a knife from Pano and Jared, give them a little time because mail is extremely slow. Extremely slow. According to tracking, it says that it left Miami April the 3rd. So it's somewhere between Miami and Canada. So we'll say that. WC Blackbird. That's a good little knife right there. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it, my friend. I'm glad you use it. You got plenty of them to use, I tell you. What are you up to, about 50 now? Well, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Thanks, Fearless. Glad you like the Blackbird. Well, Stephen, I don't know about perfection now, but it is a beautiful knife. It really is. Those handles, that is something to. I don't even know if you're going to use this knife or not, but it is something to commemorate those fur babies. I tell you. Yeah, Mark, it's about right, 50. You're climbing. You're almost up to the catching up with some of the other people that's collecting WC knives. I mean, I've got a couple of them that's probably in the hundreds. So, but not bad, Mark. Not bad. Yeah, Stephen, it is definitely a one of. There's nothing out there anywhere close to it. I don't know of anybody that's used that resin and hair scales before. That's the first time I've ever seen that or heard of that. Bo, I didn't recommend an oval easy lap sharpener. I did recommend a Victorinox mini steel, but I'm not sure about the oval easy lap. I think in some videos I recommended the easy lap little diamond rod that's in the brass tube. I recommended that one, but I don't recall anything about an oval. Yeah, just the mini Victorinox mini. Okay, well, we're gonna try to give an update on production. We're up to about 30 something views, so that's probably about who all's gonna join us for right now, anyway. So I want to kind of give an update of where we're at. The SKs, we'll start off with that. SK's serial numbers through 320 has been shipped. Right now I have 321 through 340 in the fabrication process. That means that they have been um, prepared and ready to heat treat. So from the heat treat process to actually shipping for those knives, look for those to start shipping about 3 to 4 weeks. And to get all 20 of them shipped, it depends on whether they want sheets or whatever, it probably about 5 weeks from now, okay? Just kind of give everybody a heads up on retail. I am bumping that 120-day mark. Matter of fact, I had to rush to get 2 of them out today to beat the 120-day mark. So just bear with me, folks. I'm trying to get this new shop built and trying to keep production up, and it's just a lot of irons in the fire. So just bear with me. There is some things coming. I've interviewed 2 people to come in as assistants to kind of I don't know, a mentor type thing, and so help is coming. I'm hoping to have the new shop operational by the end of next week. That's the goal I'm looking for. It should be pretty close. Definitely within 2 weeks. Once that happens, then I'll move everything over to the new shop. We'll get some help in there and start knocking some of these things out. Okay. So that's on the SKs right now. The serial numbers has sold through 382. So it's just a phenomenal. Thank you so much. You guys are just fantastic. I keep saying that. There's no other word to describe you guys. As of right now, on retail, and this is my retail list, pages, 11 pages of it. There's 160 retail right now that I'm working on. That's in various stages. Retail. Wholesale is another 150 plus. So we're looking at over 300 knives that in works right now for WC Knives. So please, bear with me. I am still hitting that target of 90 to 120 days. Okay? So if it's bumping up against that 120 days, don't panic. William's on it, okay? William, he makes sure that 120 days, if it gets close and I see I'm not going to make it, I'll call you, okay? So anyway, right now, 767 will probably ship. That one's bumping up the 115-day mark right now, which is a Master Woodsman Model 1 Natural Brown. Tim, that's your knife. It is made. I just need to do the finish grind on it and get your sheath done early next week. So it will ship out within the 120 days. So 767 order numbers through 787 is actually in works and will probably ship next week. Okay. In addition to that, there's a wholesale order that's going to ship next week, early next week, that I need to tell you guys about here in a minute. So if you have any questions about retail, please wait because it's going to be within that 90 to 120 days. You know, there's a video I did a few weeks ago about that. If you ask me where your knife's at, I'm going to tell you within 90 to 120 days because I don't watch 11 pages of orders. Okay. I will go through this list and I will pick out the ones that's working and in the works and try to get those out as quickly as I can, but it's going to be within that 90 to 120 days. I don't pay attention to names. Names is not part of it. It's models, handle colors, sheaths, that type of thing. Names is not part of it. Okay? I hope that answered a lot of questions on that. Okay, in addition, there is another shipment going to Great Northern Knives. There is some great things coming to Great Northern Knives. Okay, one, they're the first set of Alaskan survival knives. If you don't know what that is, go back through my videos and look at that video of the introduction of that. And I will do a follow-up video sometime this week before they ship out and let you know what those look like. But the first set is being shipped to Great Northern Knives. Probably, I just needed tools, and some more bush tools are going to them, and several other models is going to them. So just contact them, and they will be able to help you out with what's coming. Jeff's already been notified of what's in that batch. So, and some of them's going to have the little Alaskan mosaics in them. Very cool. Very cool. Jeff contacted me with Great Northern probably about 2 weeks ago. I guess about 2 weeks ago. And he kind of, a lot of times there's some things in my brain that I've been thinking about that I don't do until I kind of get a second confirmation on. And this knife here was a second confirmation because a lot of guys had asked me if I get a smaller version of the Blackbird. And I don't have a Blackbird finish here because they all shipped out. But this is a blank for a Blackbird. It's 5/32. This one's Nitro V. I just picked these blades up Wednesday, so I just got the Nitro V in Wednesday. I'm sorry, Friday. David, I'll get to questions here in just a minute, buddy. Okay. so everybody, a lot of people ask me about a smaller version of a Blackbird. So Jeff contacted me and said, hey man, we got to do a smaller version of Blackbird. I said, okay. So I said, I didn't want it to be anything like the Junior Woodsman. I wanted it to be more, I was concerned that it would be confused with the the Junior Woodsman, and also the Saner Scout. That's kind of along the same lines, and also the Alaskan Scout. So I said, let me sit down with pen and paper and see if I can sketch something out that's truly unique, that's different. Okay, folks, let me introduce you to the baby bird. This is the baby bird, okay? This is the Blackbird. The baby bird is 4-inch blade, 4-inch blade out of 1/8-inch steel. This one is AEBL. I had enough 1/8-inch steel to have a first run in AEBL. And these are going to be at Great Northern Knives. They will have the first run, okay? Since Jeff commissioned them from me, the first run will go to Jeff, okay? So if you want one of these, contact them. They will have a standard Woodsman's grind. It will be a Scandi grind to here, then a distal taper from this point on for a very fine point. Jeff said, I want something that's going to skin a deer like a zipper. This is it. This is it. The handle is the same size as the Alaskan Scout. It's kind of in between. If I can put this one on top of the other one so you can kind of see the different sizes. You can see how the difference is. It's a little bit narrow, especially around the finger, the forefinger. Okay. So, just kind of give you an idea of the difference. This is the Alaskan Scout with it. Alaskan Scout is 5/32, so it's a little bit thicker than the 1/8-inch baby bird. Okay. That's the Alaskan Scout. This is the Saner Scout, which is a little bit more belly, and again, it's 5/32, and the grind on it also is a Scandi into a saber, so it's a different grind as well. Okay, and then you got the classic, which is more of a puku style or drop point, same blade thickness, but different shape on the blade, same blade length. But blade is different. It doesn't have this drop down here, this sweet spot. Okay, now here is the Junior Woodsman, which the Junior Woodsman has a wider blade or wider handle, and the blade on it is shaped different, whereas the baby bird has more of a drop point. So there is quite a bit of difference in the blade shapes on that. And just put one in front of the other if I can without dropping it this time. See the handle on it just a little bit different. See the handle of the Junior there. And the tip is finer on the Junior than it is on the baby bird. Baby bird is more of a robust tip, finer tip, but it's not as sharp as the Junior. The Junior is more of a bushcraft knife. This one, the baby bird was more of a woodsman's hunter / woodcraft type knife. Okay. All right, and there is a cool logo that's going to be stamped on the blade, like the Blackbird was stamped on the Blackbird. The baby bird is going to have a cool stamp too. All right, are you ready for this? Ain't that cute? That's what's going to be stamped on the blade. 3/8 high, the same size as the logo, my logo. And of course, the first run will have a 1 on the blade. And those again will be ordered through Great Northern Knives. He's already ordered the wholesale lot for the first run. Okay, so if you want one of those, contact Jeff at Great Northern Knives. If you don't know how to contact Great Northern Knives, go to my website, wcknives.com. Go to the knives page, select knives. There's a sub-menu that'll drop down. It'll say authorized dealers. Go on there under Great Northern Knives, and there's all kinds of contact information there, websites and everything, okay? So contact them and let them know that you're interested in ordering one of those baby birds. I just picked up the first run Friday of those baby birds. So they will start getting in the process of this and probably ship in about 5 to 6 weeks. Okay? All right, so that's a very cool design, right? I'm really excited about that one. I'm going to try that one for a while. So, anyway. Let's say, oh, one other thing before we start answering questions. There is one of these left. Okay, these are the Woodsman's Journey or Woods Journey on my Available Knives custom webpage. I just reduced price on this one just to get it out of the way. Only one left. It's the red Paducah with green mosaics and a green liner. Beautiful knife. Beautiful knife. So if you want that one, go to my Available Custom Knives webpage, and it's listed on sale there. Okay, at a reduced price. All right. I think that's it. So let's try to get some a backpack knife. Let's see if we can back up here and answer some questions here. Fearless says he has one coming from Great Northern Knives. Well, good, Fearless. Get in on that first run. There's going to be a limited number with that one on the blade. Who knows what's going to happen with that design. I think it's going to be a very, very popular design. I really do. And then a production run of the backpack knife. I still need to test that one out. I assume you're talking about this one. The blade is so unusual and different. I need to test it and see if it's going to do what I envisioned. Maybe one day. I'm trying to get this where I get some help so I can only have to work a reasonable 40-hour week instead of 60 and 70. And so to actually start testing some knives and do some things like that. So, but I haven't forgot about it. It is going to be tested. It's just that there's a lot of other things going on. Had an hour-long phone call with Randy yesterday. Yeah, good. Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate it, buddy. I really do. How do I clean my knife? Alcohol for cleaning, sharpening, mineral oil for the blade, walnut oil for handle, re-wax the handle. It just depends on what materials you got. AEBL don't need much cleaning. I mean, we put this thing in trap dye and everything, and it's pristine. So if it's AEBL, you really don't need much at all. Just wash it. Don't let it soak in any chemicals, of course. But wash it with soap and water and let it dry. If it's wood handles, of course, you want to put oil on it of some type, whether it's walnut oil. I treat every blade that goes out, the oil, even the micarta, with penetrating oil. I use teak oil. I warm the handle up and then dip it in the oil, let it soak and cool for a few minutes. Bring it out, wipe it off clean, then let it dry. That's how every knife is shipped out. So if you want to continue doing that process, then that works. As often as it needs it. It depends on climate, whether how often you do it and how much you use it. You use it as to how often you have to do it. So it's just, when in doubt, do it. That's probably the best answer I can give you. Good evening, David. Best EDC knife: Junior Woodsman, WCNK, Woodsman EDC, or a Skinner? For 2 years, no matter what I test out, no matter what knife design I'll always go back to the Nessie. Always go back to the Nessie. For me, this ticks all the boxes as an EDC in my shop, for cutting leather, for wood carving, for just everyday use. This little Nessie with the grind, the multi-grind, does all of that phenomenal. So now other people may say that the EDC is that, and I can't argue with that because I'd used the EDC for a couple of months, and it is a fantastic little knife. It'll carve wood like an angry beaver. That little tooth on the bottom of that blade, man, that thing is just, it's scary how well that thing carves. So it just depends on how you use a knife. You just have to kind of play with them, borrow them, or look at the knife and decide which is the best one for you, Dave. Okay, but for me, the Nessie for an EDC is my favorite knife. Good to see you, Gert. Thank you. I am doing great, Keith. Hope you're doing well too, sir. Keith, you can order the WCSK at the beginning of the video. I went through the production on that. Yeah, you can order it from my Production Knives webpage. Go to wcknives.com and under Knives, there's a submenu that will drop down. It says Production Knives. Go to that webpage and you can order it there, or you can go to the subpage that says William Collins Survival Knife, WCSK, and you can order it from that page as well. So yeah, you can order it there, but it's a 90 to 120 day wait. Okay, so there, I don't have any knives that's readily to ship out unless they're listed on the available custom knives webpage. If it says available, that means it's ready to ship out right then. Okay, but everything else is ordered in a 90 to 120 day wait. No custom, no custom bills. It's what you order on that website is what you get. Okay, no changes. Thanks, Kurt. Glad you liked that little woods journey. It is a beautiful blade. I'm surprised it's lasted this long. But it's on sale now, so if you guys want it, jump all over it. Yeah, Robbie, it is. I don't understand it either, man. I can't. I think it kind of fell through the cracks, and people thought that they were all sold out, but that one is left. Pestilence, you need to run somewhere else, buddy. Well, you can order an SC Gert. Just go to my Production Knives webpage and get one in about 90 to 120 days. That's the difference in the Nessie and the Baby Bird. Blade's about the same length. Baby Bird is going to be a little bit more robust. Okay, you see that all right? Yeah, Matt, that Nessie, man, that little knife, it just, I don't know what it is about it, but it's just comfortable to use. It's a pleasure to use. It really is. You know, Rick, we're working on the SKs. Got one shipment out this week and working on the next 20. So, planning on shipping through 340 in about 4 to 5 weeks. No, there won't be a receipt in the order. Between you and me, nobody else, just you and me. Thanks, Keith. Appreciate it, my friend. No, the Daily Chore, I haven't produced it. There may be some still left at some of my suppliers or my dealers. Great Northern may have one. I don't know if Jared and Pano still have some. So contact some of my dealers and see. They may have some Daily Chores left. Yeah, Mike, open mind. Yeah, you were one of the ones that demanded a baby bird. So there you go. I think there's like 10 or 15 of you said, hey, you gotta have something like that. And then it just the icing on the cake was Jeff said, hey, we need to do this. So I said, okay. David, Wilhelm, the Hog's Tooth, you can get that through Northern Woodsman Elite web store. They have those on wholesale. So if you go to their web store, they have them there. You can order them or actually purchase one. I think they should be getting all of those in the next week or two. Thanks, Kurt. Appreciate it. Yeah, something like that, you have to save up for it. I had to save for a lot of things in my life, and it just makes you appreciate them a little bit more. Yeah, Rick, it's going to be the 120 day or 90 to 120 days from order. That's everything I try to do is try to speed that up, but it always comes down to 90 to 120 days, no matter what I do. No, AL, the baby bird will be purchased only for the first run. Now, after the first run, I haven't decided whether I'm going to do a special run or not. I haven't decided that. But for the first run, it is going to be purchased only through Great Northern Knives. Okay? So if you want one of those, you need to contact Great Northern Knives and let Jeff know so he'll know where he stands on orders. Because there's a limited run. And you've seen the Blackbirds, how fast they go. We went through about 67 or 68 in a matter of minutes. So if you guys are interested in one of those, I've only got 40 of them pre-cut. So if you want one of those, I can't stress this enough. If you want one, need to contact Jeff and let Jeff. I don't know if he's going to have a list. I don't know if he's going to require what. Just talk to Jeff. Okay. That's all. That's the best thing I can tell you. Contact Jeff at Great Northern Knives and let them know that you're interested in a Blackbird. Or not Blackbird, baby bird. I'm sorry, baby bird. Yeah, Gert, I agree. I kind of partial to small knives myself. I do like the large blades. Don't get me wrong. I love those things. But as far as use and actual task and things like that, I kind of lean toward a smaller blade. The AL asked about the next monthly special, and folks, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to put in a next monthly special or not. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I have 160 orders just in retail and another 150 plus in wholesale. So trying to get these knives out and try to do a monthly special is going to be a little tight, and also finishing up the shop. That takes up a lot of my time coordinating that, getting in contractors, making sure everything is done the way I want it to do, and all of that. That takes up, I'm having to do that at least a third of the day, just watching them. Friday, I had 3 trees cut that was hanging over the shop that was dead or dying, and they were becoming a safety issue. So I had them cut. So, I had to oversee that and make sure that nothing fell on the shop and nobody was, in there. So there's a lot of things going on besides knives right now so that I can increase production in the new shop and hire people. I don't know, as probably a lot of people wasn't on the beginning, but I'm hoping to have, I got electricity in the shop, got lights, got power, got everything there. We're starting to build workstations next week. Hoping to have the exterior of the building insulated next week. So at the end of next week, I'm gonna start moving equipment in the new shop, and I'll do an updated video on that at some point. Just kind of give you guys an idea of what the shop looks like, the new shop. But that once I move into the new shop, I have enough space to hire additional, at least one person. I may hire 2. I don't know yet. But I actually got interviewed with 2 different people already. Very promising. We may do something there, but I'm already doing interviews. So things are actually coming together for it. It's just give me a little break for another couple of weeks, and then I got to train and all this other stuff. So hopefully within about 4 weeks, things will start streamlining and we can start getting production up again. But we're still shipping 15 to 20 a week. We shipped another 20 this week. And that wasn't even wholesale. That was all retail and customs. Just to give you an idea on customs, I have one more custom that I'm working on. We shipped out like 7 or 8 customs this week, in addition to everything else that was shipped. And I've got one more custom that I'm working on right now. I got to put handles on it, do a finished grind. And then I've got 3 more orders after that. One of them is a 10 knife order, and the other one is like a 5 or 6, and then there's one that's got 2. So about 10, 15, probably about 17 more customs to finish from 2018. 2018. That's embarrassing. That is really embarrassing. I am so sorry. But anyway, that's still trying to get that done. All right. So bear with me. There's a lot of things happening. I'm trying to get everybody's knife in the time frame that is realistic. Okay. I'm not sure what you're asking. Where are we at with shipping? I ship practically every day. I don't know. It's 90 to 120 days, buddy. I can't answer that. If you want to know what orders I'm working on right now, is it SKs or if it's right now 767 through 790 is on the bench, and probably 790 through 1,000 and whatever is water jetted and waiting to be heat treated. So that's probably the best answer I can give you. 90 to 120 days from order. Any other questions? Everybody ready to go back to work? Hello, Survival LT. You're welcome, hey. I wish I could tell you more, buddy, but hey, that's best I can do is what I promised. Well, Rick, I don't keep up with everything, man. There's a few things that fall through, but hopefully you guys have been great for the ones that I messed up on, and we got it all straightened out. So. Progression, Gert, I'm not sure. How does the progression in the primary grind differ compared to the Woodsman's grind? The apex thickness, the best I can explain it. The cutting edge is still the 11 to 12 degrees. All my edges are 11 to 12 degrees. The apex is what's different, whether it's a thick apex or a thin apex. The thicker apex gives you strength, it gives you splitting power, it gives you more robust, but the thinner the apex gives you slicing power. So I try to marry those two different things up and get the best results I can from one blade, no matter what the length is. Okay? I am fine, Survival LT. Thank you. Hope you're well as well. Rick, yeah, Swamp. Yeah. But, hey, appreciative. Thankful. Seems like there's not much difference. There's so much difference between. Yeah, it's an optical illusion. It's not. The apexes are. The grind looks different, but it's not. It's the same grind all the way through. I show it many times on video. Same grind. Yeah, I'm glad you like the baby bird. Yeah, I'm excited about it as well. I might have to play with that one for a while. Gert, it's an optical illusion, buddy. Until you have one in your hand and sharpen it, you're going to be confused. But once you get it in your hand and you sharpen it, everything it'll click. It's like, wow, I didn't think it was that easy. But the part that's different is what I do. The part that you do is all the same. Okay? Jameson, I assume you're talking about before the Woodsman's grind came about. Let me get some water. I haven't talked this much in a while. Everybody knows that a Scandi is the king for hogging wood. It for carving wood, Scandi is the king. Scandi is not the optimum grind for processing meat, slicing vegetables, all those things. But splitting wood, carving wood, Scandi is the king. So I married two different grinds. I married a Scandi with a saber, a Scandi. A Scandi with a distal taper, a Scandi with hollow. I married a Scandi with a lot of different grinds, even full flat. Okay, and to get the best of two worlds, that is the better grind. I used to like the full flat because it sliced better. But marrying those two grinds, you get a more versatile knife, I guess you could say. And to answer the question why the shift is because it's better. It performs better. It's more versatile. It's just a better grind. And there's hundreds of videos explaining that and showing that on my YouTube channel. Fairly, probably best to get with Steven on that because he's the one that shipped the scales to me. I don't know how he did the process. So get with Steven on that, and if Steven's still on here, he could probably get with you and explain what he did. Gert, the primary grinds is what I do. That's like a saber or whatever. Secondary grind is what you sharpen. That's what you sharpen. Yes, I did, Dominic. Shipped out 320 through 320 this week. 321 through 340 is in works. They will start shipping in about 4 to 5 weeks. Yes, please, everybody give a thumbs up. You're welcome, Jameson. I hope I answered your question, buddy. But I like versatility in knives. When you have just one grind, to me, that's just a waste of steel because you don't use the entire blade the same at every section of the blade. So if you have multiple grinds to do different tasks, then you have a more optimal knife. Okay? Thanks, Ron. No, I don't do purdy. Every once in a while I make a mistake and do one purdy, but that's not my goal. Survival LT, if you go down below this video, there's a streaming banner. I don't know if it's up yet, but it will be once this video goes saved or whatever it does. I don't know what it does, processed or whatever. But at the bottom of my videos, there's a banner. You can go to Teespring and order the t-shirts. You get coffee mugs and all kinds of stuff there. Dennis, there's hundreds of models, buddy. I can't go through the list. You just need to go to my website and go to the production page. If there's nothing there you like, then go to the dealers that deal in knives. I've got Great Northern Knives has a good selection in knives. It's over 6 to 7 inches. The Northern Woodsman Elite, they have several knives that's in the 6 to 7 range. So, I mean, I can't list them all. If I did, I'd miss some. So, just matter of fact, this one is on sale right now in the Available Knives website. I think it's about a 6-inch blade. Yeah, it's about a 6-inch blade. So, this one's on sale on the Available Custom Knives webpage right now. So they're just everywhere, buddy. Just, you got to do a little research. Thanks, Mark. I'm glad you liked the little EDC. Yeah, they're better in person. Yeah. Again, Dennis, there's some that fit that mark too. The little EDC fits that mark. I think it's like 6.5, 7 inches. So, yeah, they're there. There was a little scalpel. Did a little custom scalpel. There's a little custom scalpel to be shipped out on Monday. Bird's eye maple. So that one's probably, I don't know, about a tape measure. And again, if you don't see it on my website, that one's 7 inches. So if you don't see it on my website, ask the other dealers. They may have some. So, you know, I'll wear a medium to large glove. That's not weird at all. My hands are 4 inches across by 7 inches that way. Okay? So I don't know. 7 inches that way. I wear a medium to a large glove. I will be doing all the grinds and heat treats. The help's going to be doing handles and kydex, a few other things like that. Right now I'm doing kydex, I'm doing everything. And it's just a bit much, Zombie Tender Survivor, I'll check that out. It's probably a knockoff on a tracker though. What do you think of the gin? Not sure what you're talking about. Terry, need you to expand that question, buddy. I'm not sure what you're talking about on the gin. No, Barry. ABL steel is at best maybe fourth quarter. I've checked the websites for the past 2 days. No AEBL in 5/32 at all. I did have some in stock for 1/8 inch, and I did get some baby birds. And if you missed that, you need to watch this video once it's saved and going back for processed, I guess is what it's called. I don't know. But you need to watch the video from the beginning. I introduced a new blade called the Baby Bird, and I was able to get enough steel for that. But as far as everything else, AEBL is getting very tight. Gebart, I'm not familiar with them at all. Don't know who they are. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Yeah, I try to make the handles to where they're going to fit the most majority. Now, there's always exceptions to everything. So, a matter of fact, there was a guy sent his knife back to me, and I made it a little bit smaller, the handle. So, you try to do custom work the best you're going to fit the hand. Most of the time I hit it, but every now and then I have to make some adjustments on it. Fearless, I do have somebody that does the leather sheaths. Already my mom does that a lot, but I'm trying to take that load off of her a little bit. She enjoys it, but it's got to be it's a job. So yeah, there's going to be, like I said at the beginning, I've already interviewed 2 people, and maybe I'll interview a couple more. But I'm looking at somebody that's going to do sheaths and also handles, and kind of an apprentice in the shop, and maybe 2 people. I'm not sure yet, but at least one. Yeah, I picked up the Nitro V blades Friday. That's the only update that I've given for the Blackbirds. But I haven't been able to do any heat treat yet, so I can't talk to that yet. I guess Friday was yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah, yesterday you did. Open mind, you can't do patents on blade grinds. There's too many variances. Then you can do patents on lock systems and things like that, like the folding knives. But as far as blade grinds, you can't get anything to stick like that. You can do patents on blade shapes, or I think it's called a silhouette or something. But getting to that through legal and everything else, it's just not worth the hassle and cost with that. No, David, best way to do it is wrap your knife in saran wrap, get it as watertight as possible, and wet the sheath in warm water, and put the knife in the sheath with the saran wrap and mold the sheath to it. There's some very good how-to or videos on YouTube. I'm trying to think. He changed his channel name, but Jonathan Burton did a very good one on that. But just do a search on YouTube. There's some very good how-to videos on how to do that. You're welcome, Dave. Good luck with that. It's pretty easy. It's not that difficult. Matter of fact, there was one of them that did it with a vacuum seal that turned out very well. It looked like Kydex. And you can put a beeswax finish on it. I mean, you do a lot of things with it once you get it molded, and it'll stay like Kydex. But there's some great videos on doing that on YouTube. Thanks, Raider Bowl. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate it. Yep, Bert, staying safe. I don't want to get into this Corona 19. I don't want to get in a bad mood. Thanks, Fearless. Appreciate it. Yeah, I try to take you guys along. I mean, you're part of it. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here. So, thank you. And if I can answer some questions, and then by all means, I'll take couple of hours here and there and do what I can. Robbie, that tree feeling thing, man, that was, I guess you saw the videos on YouTube. Talking about get the old heart to pumping, buddy. That tree was almost 90 foot tall, one of them. And that little guy, he was all the way to the top of that thing. Oh, he climbed that thing like a squirrel. Man, there ain't no way William's going to be up there. But yeah, it all went well. They finally got done about 9 o'clock last night. They still got to come back Monday and grind the stumps. But yeah, they're all down. Everything's safe. Rick, no, it's actually pretty comfortable. You can get some of the others that's to testify to it, but no, it's actually a very comfortable sheath. I was really surprised when he sent me the prototype. So you can ask others as well. They can chime in and tell you what they think about it. Yeah, Thomas, me too. I think it's going to be very comparable. Just reading the tech data on it and everything, I think the only difference, the main difference is that Nitro V, if I remember right, has a little bit of chromium in it, whereas the AEBL has K2. So that's the two. Both of them are carbon properties, but it's just two different types of steel. But I think that they're going to be very comparable. No, Robbie. William not going to be on top of that tree, I can tell you that. Unless it's laying on the ground, then I might climb it then. But when it's standing up, not no 90 feet no. Think I'll pass. Leave that up to the brave ones. Well, David, who knows? Most of the time when we have gatherings, you don't have cell service. So uh, uh, we, we might do a hangout one time and try to do something like that. But I don't know. We used to do that quite often. The biggest one, Gert, was a pin oak. That was a 90-foot tall pin oak. And the other two were, both of them were red gums. The other two. They were damaged. They had fire damage. When we cleared the land, we thought we could save them, but we couldn't. They started rotting at the trunk from fire damage. No, Gert. I mean, it's easier to just buy the wood than try to season it and cut it and all this other stuff. You have more labor involved in it and time than just buying it from a supplier. And two, it's not that pretty wood. It's oak. I mean, you can get that you can get red oak at Lowe's, like $1 a foot. Gary, I will have a table in Blade Show in August. I don't know that I'll be there, but Blackie will be there, and Randy will be there at my table. So there will be product there, but I don't know if I'll be there or not. And I don't think they're going to have the Blade Show at all. I think they're just trying to push it off as far as they can, trying to get it. But I don't. It'll surprise me if they do. Yeah, Davey, you need to come on out when Blackie. He's talking about maybe sometime in fall trying to do it again. So we'll see. No, Mark, don't plan to ever do a kukri. You can get a small kukri from Great Northern Knives. They have a little 6-inch kukri. Matter of fact, I can show you one. I got one ready, a shipment ready almost for them to ship out early week. This is a small kukri called the Alaskan Bush Tool, and you can get that at Great Northern Knives, one of my suppliers. And again, if you go to my website, wcknives.com, go to the knives, click on it. There's a sub-menu will drop down. It'll say authorized dealers. Click on that. The Great Northern Knives is there. There's also one that's called the Hog's Tooth. That's a kukri style blade that you can get from Northern Elite. store. So contact them if you want to see what that is, or go to their website. Okay. But as far as me doing another production run, probably not. Yeah, Gert, I enjoy carving as well. It's very relaxing. Thanks to G-Flix. Is this what it's called? Appreciate it. Thanks for the support. Appreciate it, man. Sorry, Thomas. No, no, they. I can't. I don't have time, buddy. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I have 160 retail orders at any time, and I'm shipping 15 to 20 a week, and I can't keep up. Plus, in addition, I've got over 150 wholesale orders right now I got to fulfill. So I just don't have time to do custom work. Yeah, Robbie, that cup there, that goes good with them pictures, man. I like that cup. Need to get the other one. The other one's got an SK on the back of it. Gert, I've doubled sales every year since I started. So, yeah, this year is proving to be a double from last year. I'm very blessed, and thank you. Thanks to everybody. I really appreciate it. Don't worry about the mule, just load the wagons. Mule gets tired, but Mule will figure it out. He gets some help. I've had to build a new shop every 2 years to expand. Hopefully this new shop I don't have to expand anymore. Jackalope, there's 5 going to Great Northern probably Monday. Well, it probably Tuesday or Wednesday before I get them shipped out. So he should have them by the end of the week. So yeah, I talked to Great Northern Knives, and I don't know if they're pre-sold or not, buddy. But there's 5 going to him. Also, Randy had a couple the other day. I don't know if he still got them or not at Stitch Gear Outfitters. He had some old ones. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Now, yeah, Jeff is one of my, well, he is one of my great, I guess, wholesalers, I guess you'd say. But yeah, Jeff is great to deal with. He really is. KH, the Sportsman is exactly that, a sportsman's knife. If you're a sportsman, then of course the Sportsman is the better knife. If you prefer a Nessie, now I only do multi-grinds on the production knife. So if you want something that's going to do some wood carving, a little bit of kindling, splitting, kindling, small stuff, then the Nessie is the better option. So it depends on what you want to use the knife for. I prefer the Nessie, okay, because to me it'll process game and wood and camp chores. So, but that if I was going to fillet fish, I'd prefer the Sportsman full flat. And you get those from Great Northern or from Panos and Yared's store, the Northern Elite store. David, never saw a use for the notches. It always caused blisters and sore spots on my thumbs because I'm always up on the blade everywhere else. I'd prefer to have a 90-degree spine. To me, it's more useful. So no, I build knives for me in the way I use them, and so I don't like notches or jimping or anything like that. You should, KH. You should get one of each, of everything. I recommend them. Thanks, AL. I appreciate it. Always trying to improve, my friend. It's going to be. I think the recommendation for Nitro V, and again, I haven't played around with it yet, so I really can't say. But it's probably going to be in the 60 to 61 range is where Nitro V. And with AEBL, that's about the same range. And I think the average is 61 on AEBL. I get some in 60, some in 62. So the average is about 61 on AEBL is where I use my knives. And that, to me, is the optimum RC for AEBL. Yeah, David, just don't have time, my friend. And Dad's, that last year that we went camping, I kind of felt like that was going to be the last year. I mean, for 89 years old, he gets around very good, but he does have COPD, so he tires easily, and camping trips is just not something he's up to. No Raider blow, I don't, but I do. In the new shop, there's going to be a setup to do bead blasting, and I'm also looking at doing a rock tumbler for some rock finishes. So there's some things that I'm working on. I'm always improving, trying to create and improve my craft. So there's things in this old brain that's coming. It's just that I haven't been set up for it. But with this new shop, I can start getting set up for it. Okay. So yeah, that's probably in the future. I'm going to start exploring that. But Raider Bowl, I don't do high polished blades. I don't see any point in it. A lot of people say that, well, they don't rust as easy, which is a bunk. I mean, it's just, they're pretty. That's it. That's the reason I say I don't do pretty work. Because a high polished blade is just a lot of work and it's just useless. Mine are mostly satin finishes. Yeah, David, I offered to take him a few months ago, and he didn't want to go. So that's all right. He still, I mean, they live next door, and so we live right on the lake, and so he goes and runs his lines every day, at least once a day if the weather's okay, and he's got a garden out back, and that's what he wants to do. So we let him do it. Skarama knife, yeah. If you go back through my history, I've made, and there's actually I got about 4 blanks that I'm gonna finish out at some point for the big one. Um, just whenever I get time, buddy. I mean, there's a lot of things I want to do. I just don't have time because you guys keep ordering knives. Not complaining, not complaining at all. But yeah, David, I've done several custom, or say several. I've done one custom as a Skarma, and I had enough blanks made to do a special run of maybe 4 or 5 of them. But if I can ever get the time to finish them out. Yeah, John, the AEBL and our test compared to my old one is it's about 30% longer. It actually feels sharper than my old one. And my old one is not nothing to sneeze at. Without bragging, I'd put my old one up against any tool steel out there, including CPM steels. But the AEBL seems to get sharper. It takes a finer edge, lasts about 30% longer, and it sharpens as easy as old one, which is phenomenal. It's amazing steel. It really is. I'll be glad when we get some more of it. Well, it just takes the shine off, Gert. Bead blasted, it's a little bit more of a dull finish. It smooths the corners out a little bit. It's just different. Is it better? I don't know. It's all aesthetics. It's not really improving the functionality of it. Yeah, Jameson, I kind of walk a little bit more of a razor's edge, if you will. I like the 60 to 61 range. Now on 01, I stay about 58 to 60 on 01, which is still higher than the standard of 55. 55 to me is just too soft. But they're concerned about people beating on them, and especially in colder climates. And me, I mean, I'm not a fan of batoning. If you look at some of my videos on batoning, as long as you're reasonable. The problem is there's a bunch of people out there that's not reasonable with it. They think they should build a log cabin. But a knife is not designed to do that because there's vibrations and a lot of things along that blade that nobody talks about, harmonics, that causes fissures in those blades. And with time, those fissures become cracks. Those cracks cause failure. So what you're seeing on YouTube is maybe 20 minutes of abuse on that knife. You don't see the longevity of it. So trying to test a knife by batoning is ludicrous. You need to see that knife 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road, 5 minutes down the road to find out if that knife is going to be durable or not. So with my knives, a higher Rockwell holds a better edge. It's finer, it gets sharper, and it does the task that I prefer a knife to do, like cutting. I know that's strange, but cutting, slicing, those type of things. And so I warn a lot that if you want a knife that's you're gonna baton through a red oak log, I'm not your guy. Okay, but if you want something that's gonna cut, slice, skin that moose, stay with you through the whole process, and then do a little touch up on the end, I'm the guy. Okay. It does, Gert. It'll spring back. Yeah, John, I'm not a fan of polished blades. I've had a bunch of them, but just never appealed to me. Well, Mike, the baker's dozen is a good start, my friend. There's Mark Collins on here that's had 50. His was a good start too. There's a lot of them on here that has more than that. So it's like Lay's potato chips. You can't have just one. Mm, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, for game plan, you talking about rabbits or you talking about moose? I don't know. Um, it's personal choice, really. Um, the Blackbird has a saber edge where the baby bird will have a distal taper with a finer point. So as far as skinning game, I would say the baby bird would probably be a better choice. But as far as woodcraft, campcraft, things like that, where you need a little bit longer blade, then the Blackbird may be a better choice for bushcraft things. But again, a lot of people like a 4-inch blade for bushcraft too. So personal thing. It's hard for me to say which one is better. It depends on the individual, I think. You're not peanuts, Mike. No, you're not, my friend. I haven't played with a slingshot since I was a kid. I used to bird hunt a lot when I was a kid with one. I was fairly decent with it, but not since I was a kid. I actually carved one in a video or two here a while back, but I say a while back, probably about 7 or 8 years ago. But no, I haven't used one in years. Yeah, okay, H. This is I got a lot of requests to do a smaller version of the Blackbird. Blackbird's on the bottom. Well, look at that one here. Blackbird's on the bottom. Baby Bird's on the top. Baby Bird has a 4-inch blade. Same blade shape and style as the Blackbird, but just on a smaller scale. The Baby Bird will be 1/8 inch uh, AEBL stainless for the first run, as long as I can get it. And they will have instead of the Blackbird stamp, they will have this Baby Bird stamp. Okay, so they have the WC logo with that and a 1 on the first run. And if you're interested in that, the first run will go to Great Northern Knives. They're the ones that had the ordered the first run of those. So contact them and let them know that you're interested in purchasing one of those, and they will fill you in on the details. I just picked up the blades yesterday, so getting them in and getting them shipped and everything, probably 4 to 5 weeks they'll be in the store in Alaska, and they can ship them out from there. Thanks, Gage. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It's instead of the saber grind. I don't know if I explained that in this part. I did in the beginning. Instead of the saber like it's on the Blackbird, it's going to have a distal taper. So the distal taper will start about here and go up to a very fine point. So you'll have a thin blade with a very fine point, kind of like the EDC. It'll be a very similar grind to the EDC, little EDC grind. So, but yeah, I'm kind of interested in using this. I think that this is going to be a phenomenal little knife. I really do. Any other questions? We've already been on 2 hours. Oh, here we go. Yeah, thanks, Mike. This is fun. Yeah, I enjoy it. I really do. I don't want to bore you guys with the same stuff over and over, but special run of the Nessie. Man, I've got so many that's ordered already. Doing a special run is just kind of unfair to those folks. So um, when sales start tapering off on the Nessie, then I'll try to work a special run in on them. But until then, I can't do it because I should be making their knife instead of doing a special run. So thanks, David. It was awesome. I enjoyed my time in the service. I really did. It had its moments, but everything does. I'm very, very proud of the people I serve with. I was a crew chief on a KC-135 A model water burner, if anybody knows what that is. Back in the 80s, early 90s. I was in about 9.5 years. Air Force. Well, Rick, got to take some time off every now and then, buddy. But yeah, we're gonna be hammering on it hard again in the morning, even on Sunday. But anyway, yeah. Um, no, Gert, I don't miss the job. I miss the people. I've met some phenomenal people. Matter of fact, some of the guys that I met in the Air Force, I mean, we had emails going back and forth today. There's like 4 or 5 of us. We get together at least twice a year and just go out to eat and hang out together. And, I've made friends for life for 30 years. We've done that through divorces, through weddings, through children's weddings. So I mean, yeah, they're brothers. So I miss the people, but as far as the job, I don't miss the job. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, I never was in anything like that, Rick. But yeah, I mean, those long hours and as much time as you spend with people like that, it builds brotherhoods. It really does. So thanks, Barry. Have a good night, brother. No, David. It didn't help me on skills tonight. Maybe maybe relationships, people skills. Maybe I don't know. But as far as hands on, no, no, I don't think it did. Yeah, business ownership skills. Maybe it taught me how to relate to people. Yeah, different types of people. Because I mean, you're dealing with people all over the world when you're in the Air Force or in the military in general. East Texas, Rick, on Sam Rayburn. Uh, Stetson 7, Resistol 7 and 8. Have a little old beady head. I never have, Jameson. I've never hunted turkey in my life. The Blackbird, the blade on it is, I think it's about 5.5, 5 3/4. Yep, 5.5. Width on it is about 1.5 inches. The little baby bird is 4 inches. Width on it is about 1.25 inches. Yeah, you don't have a choice, David. If you don't make it work, it's very miserable. So you have to learn to make it work. Um, well, I wouldn't call Blackie a large man, Mister Hister Man. Blackie's hands are probably as smaller than yours, so he likes the handles too. So I'm not sure how to answer that. So yeah, handle size has been one of the major things that goes in the design. I want to make sure it fits medium hands to extra large. Thanks, Rick. Have a good night, brother. Sure touch. If I'm going to choose a knife, Sure Touch would be the working knife. Not because of colors. I mean, it could be black, but it's impact. It is impact absorbent, and it also has a very positive grip. It's got layers of rubber, So it's a phenomenal handle. It really is. Thanks, KH. My pleasure, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Is there anything else? We're going to give it a couple more minutes and see if anybody has any questions, and then we're going to close it down for the night. Jameson, you might be able to get a full flat from a Sportsman from um, Northern Woodsman Elite. They may have some. That's probably the closest you're going to get to a fillet knife. It doesn't have any flex at all. I wouldn't call it a medium flex. It does have a little flex, but it's not going to flex like a fillet knife. So right now I don't have much of a fillet knife at all. Yeah, David, Sure Touch is layers of G10 colors with black rubber. So as you grind it and shape the handle, that rubber shows through along with the G10. So it gives you colors. It looks like a green and white, or green and black, black and black, red and black, blue and black. It's kind of difficult to explain. But if you look at my knives recently on the Available Knives webpage, even though they're sold, if you look at those, and those that are the different colors, like the greens and the reds and the blues, that is Sure Touch. And the black is layers of rubber. And somebody likened that rubber to the rubber used in the knives of Alaska. It feels the same, but instead of that, rubber is layered in G10 with G10 layers. Hope that explains it. Have a good camp out, Fearless. Um, I guess it's Whack-A-Mole Scout. Either one is going to serve you well, brother. I mean, if you want to do a little bit of kitchen prep and things like that, I think the BK, the belt knife, is probably a better candidate for that because it has that kitchen knife straight part. I think it'd probably be a little bit better for camp chores and kitchen chores and things like that. Whereas the Blackbird is a little bit more of a bushcrafty camp chore, camp craft type knife. So it just depends on what you wanted to use the knife for. Thanks, Mr. History Man. EDC is a great little knife. Boy, it'll chew some wood like an angry beaver. It really would. Great calf knife. Not sure what you meant about it. I must have missed the comment about the Amazon thing, Mike. Thanks, Matt. You too, brother. Have a good night. Yeah, I know where Dibold, Texas is. I sure do. Well, tell him I said hello. Thanks, Dave. Actually, I probably worked in Chesapeake or around Chesapeake doing construction at some point. Worked through Virginia there. The new steels compared to your ABL. Um, if you go to my website, there's a complete playlist on AEBL, and we compared them against other steels, so you can see what the results was on the testing. John, yeah, unless you missed the baby bird, um, You'd have to watch the video over this 2-hour video. I'll talk about it throughout the whole first part of it. But it's the smaller version of the Blackbird, and it's coming to Great Northern Knives. Probably you just wait for more information on it, but it's coming. Bottom one is the Blackbird, top one is the Baby Bird. Thinner steel, shorter blade, smaller handle. Jameson, not a big folder guy. If I'm going to carry a folder, it's probably going to be a multi-tool or an SAK. I've got Chris Reeves knives, and I love his work. Don't like his grinds, but I love his work. He does great fit and finish. But I'm just... I like more versatility, and I get that more in a fixed blade. As far as a folding knife, if I ever did one, you would know that William got a CNC machine, because that's the only way that folders work well is with a CNC machine. Ron, I was a crew chief on a KC-135A model in the mid 80s through early 90s. Orders for the Blackbird will be open until people decide they don't want to order it no more. So as long as people are ordering it, they will be there. Glad you got that more blood pressure meds, Mike. I want you to stay healthy, brother. Yeah, Ron. Is he in the control tower, buddy? Hi, Spider. Anybody else got anything? Okay. I appreciate your service, Ron. I've talked through your communications probably a few times. Getting ground clearance for engine runs and all kinds of things. Yeah, I agree, Jameson. Handles is not comfortable on folders in most cases. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate your support, my friend. I'm not sure what you're talking about on updates on the Blackbird. Blackbird production knives has been released for a month now. Right after the, I think it's the week after the last um, special run was done, we offer those as production runs. So I'm not sure of your comment. That's interesting, Samuel. No, Spider, just picked up the new blanks yesterday. I have not had a chance to do the heat treat on them or test them out. No, Ron. The Blackbird's just the production is on. No changes there. There is a baby Blackbird coming though. If you missed that, I've talked about it about 10 times throughout this whole video. So once the video processes and uploads, you can go back and take a look at all that. No, David, I worked too hard to learn what I've learned, and I'm not going to give it away for anybody. It's not good business sense. But I have made videos on how to make a knife. There's a bunch of those on my channel if you go back through the history of it. But I'm not going to teach my grinds, if that was your question. Because it took a lot of work, a lot of steel, a lot of blood, a lot of sweat, a lot of time. And I'm just not going to give up that information. Well, I'm not sure of the question. The G-Flix, I guess is how you pronounce it. All of their knives that Pano Designs has the helmet stamp on them. So he's got like 5 or 6 of them, different designs. You have to contact them, brother. I've got 2 boxes being sent to them, about 70 knives. So it's stuck in shipping, been in shipping since April the 3rd. So they should get them any day. Well, I looked at their website the other day. They had quite a few stuff up there. So I'm not sure on that comment, Spider. Again, they don't work for me. You have to tell them. Thanks, Ron. Be safe. Have a good supper. Yeah, me too, Mike. I'm looking forward to Blackie's. I hope he gets to have it in the fall. I really do. I was very disappointed that I had to cancel this spring, but anything else? No, David. Most of my steel is made in Germany, so I can't afford that. Yes, Samuel, you can heat treat it as long as you anneal it between heat treats. You got to get it back to normal. Then you can harden and temper again. That's what blacksmiths used to do. They'd heat it and beat on it, and then right before they actually temper or harden the blade, they'll normalize it again, which brings it back to 0, if you will. Then you harden it from there and temper it. Well, Spider, Randy at Stitch Gear does awesome work, brother. I mean, fantastic. Heirloom quality. And I don't say that lightly. I mean, his sheaths will last you and your children's lifetime. Yes, I did comment on the Spartan helmet. All knives that Pano Design has a Spartan helmet. He's got like 4 or 5 different models, so I'm not sure which model you're talking about. All of Pano's knives have been sent out to him as of April the 3rd. They're in shipment right now, going to Canada. So get with them on that because I don't know which one you're talking about, and they're out of my hands now. I can't answer that. You have to get with them. Larks. What's a lark? I don't know what a lark is. That's like an accident, ain't it? A lark? Y'all have fun. Wish I was with y'all. Yeah, David. Can't get it materials from Germany. That's the problem I'm having with AEBL stainless. I can't get stainless AEBL stainless. It comes from Germany. So yes, having major problems. Anything coming from Europe or China is a major problem. O1 comes from China. I can't get O1. So O1 and AEBL and everything else is kind of drying up, folks. So I've been trying to get as much steel and blade blanks as I can get. Trying to get ahead of this thing. Matter of fact, if you want an O1 SK, you better get it because I think I got 2 left on the website as far as pre-orders or orders. Once those are gone, I don't know when I'll have 3/16 O1 again for plate size. So just heads up. I sent out heads up on YouTube a week or so ago about it, all of social media. But again, I think there's 2 left. I Nitro V is a U.S. product. CPM Steels is a U.S. product, but they're all expensive. Nitro V is comparatively priced. I mean, it's just a few bucks more, but everything else is premium prices. And we're Rona free. Well, staying out there, you probably will be. Yeah, do that, Spider. They have some good options out there. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying that Nitro V out. It's got some good reviews. Yeah, I think we will. I think we're going to bring production of a lot of things back to the U.S. after this is over with. Hopefully, it taught us a lesson not to be too global. Being global is you're leaving yourself open to a lot of problems, especially when your medicines and a lot of your healthcare implements and a lot of things are being made overseas. One little glitch in that system and you're in trouble. And I hope that has taught us a valuable lesson going forward. How large, Samuel? Um, I mean, I've had bench stones, but I'm not a fan of them. The little mini steel is the best thing that I've ever used. If I'm going to get the largest stone I have is like a 4-inch DMT stone, blue one, and I've got sharpening videos on that too. So go back through my playlist, especially the frequently asked questions. That has a lot of those videos in there about sharpening and things. Yeah, Mike, I really do. I think that I'm hoping that we've learned a lesson on this. From some of the things that I see from the news media and everything else, which that's that's a different story in itself. But just looking at the things that it's caused and the empty shelves and things like that, and trying to get supplies and things that we need just as a business owner, I'm hoping that I'm not the only one seeing this. And I think that there's an opportunity out there, folks. If you got a talent or a skill, an entrepreneur to make things again in the U.S., I think it's coming. I think you need to get prepared for that. I really do, because I think there's going to be a demand for it. Just through social media, there's a lot of talk about Buy USA again, and so if you're an entrepreneur and you have a product, you may want to start gearing up. Yeah, David, I am too. I am too. But again, I mean, it's got to be made in the USA to buy it. So we got to start fabricating again, man. We really do. We need to start making some of the steels here again. Let's build Pennsylvania back up, get the steel mills going, and go from there. No, I don't. Um, Most of that, when you start getting the other steels, it's very close to the other steels. It's the same steel. I mean, you don't get very much benefit from hopping from steel to steel to steel. So that's the reason I kind of stuck with O1 and with AEBL as long as I could get it, because I knew what I had there and I perfected that process to where I was given a premium product with that steel. A lot of people, they try the different steels, they don't worry about the process. The process is what makes the steel. So if they're given a standard process to a different steel, you're not going to get the optimum out of that steel. So I chose to get the optimum I could out of those steels and create a better product, if that makes sense. So I didn't jump from steel to steel. So no, I haven't tried those steels. Basically, all knife steels are good. It's the process or heat treat. If it's a bad heat treat, I don't care what steel it is, it's going to be a bad knife. If it's a good heat treat, I don't care what steel it is, it's going to be a good knife. So, steels is not that pertinent in the discussion. It's the process and how it was heat treated, and if it was heat treated to the optimum of that steel's ability. If that makes sense. Thank you, Samuel. It's going good. I've just got enough to do a few more blades, and my supplier's got enough, so that's no big deal on liquid nitrogen. Well, we still have 32 peoples here. Any of you 32 peoples got any questions? We got a crowd, but we're properly distanced. We're no more than 10 in the same room, I don't think. Anything else? Oh, David, I said that are made with extremely cold processes. Well, there's steels that cryo treating is involved in the heat treating process. Yeah, if that's your question. But all the steels that we get as knife makers, they're all annealed, so the process does not require any cold or heat. If you get something that is processed through heat, then you have to anneal it or normalize it before you do anything to it. So I try to stay away from those steels. But but yeah, every steel out there should have a cryo treatment at some point to actually enhance that steel. Even O1, I cryo treat my O1 because it gives a tighter grain structure in that blade and that steel. So yes, I think all steel should be cryo treated, and that's not with dry ice. That's with liquid nitrogen. The CPM steels, they're only recommended if you do a cryo treat on them. So, to answer your question. No, that goes to Purdy, and I don't do Purdy. I don't do all the etching and all that other stuff. That doesn't interest me. I like performance better than looks. So I concentrate on performance. Thanks, Lover X. Appreciate you joining in, brother. I don't know if there's anybody that has the scalpel or not. If there is, probably Great Northern would probably be the one to have one of those. Check with them; they may have some. I'm not positive on that. Not sure which knife you're talking about on the Pano special. Pano had a knife out that I did back early April, so I'm not sure which one you're talking about. When you talk knives with me, I've done hundreds of knives, different models, different sizes, so you have to be a little bit more specific. Pano's probably done about a dozen or so he's done quite a few as well. Well, Pano did bring back a lot of the older models, if that's the question. He brought back the Johnny Rancher and the Hog's Tooth, the River Companion, Trail Partner, some of the designs that's 5 or 6 years old. He brought some of those back, if that's the question, yeah. But this Trapper Scalpel wasn't one of them. If anyone has those, the Great Northern would, not Pano. I don't think Pano has any of the scalpels. No, David, I haven't had any contact at all from the military on the SK. Um, I do know that it's been tried by special ops operations. I'm not going to say which branch, but I do know that I've seen video of them using them in training. So I I haven't heard back from them. Now there's some that's been ordered that I suspect is from from military personnel. Just looking at the PO boxes and where it's been shipped. Do that, Spider. I'm sure to do well. The size comparison between the EDC and the Nessie. Sure. Hang on a second. There's a size comparison. Blade on the Nessie. Cutting edge is 3¼ to the handle is 4 inches. Cutting edge on the EDC is 3½. Overall is 8 on the EDC. overall on the Nessie is 8. Yeah, Spider, that Nessie, man, once you use it, it's hard. It's hard to get away from. It really is. Um, like I say, I've really thoroughly enjoyed using the EDC. I mean, it's well balanced. It feels great in the hand. It carves that tooth right there, what I've been talking about. That tooth right there will go through wood like an angry beaver. I mean, it is scary how well that tooth works. And that very fine tip, I'm sure it would skin an animal in a heartbeat. Like a zipper. Like I designed this part here like the old blue handle trapper that the trappers use. It's called the first cut, which is does the money cuts, and that triangle is shaped just like that for very controlled cuts on trappers and things like that when they're trying to save the fur. No, I never had the pleasure of handling a loveless knife. Now, if you can get one for 10,000, you better jump all over it. That's cheap. I mean, there's some that's priceless he's got. He did sell one at auction at 250,000, and they claimed that he would, if any of them came to auction, he would have the first $1 million knife, which. Um, They're beautiful, but I mean, he did develop the drop point. He is the first one that I have seen to come out with a multi-grind. He had a full, I think it was a saber into a full flat or something like that. He's the first one that I've ever seen to do that. He did this before Mora did it. He did this long before Tom Brown and Dave Beck did it on the Trapper. He's the first one that I know of to do that. He's a genius. He was a genius. No, Spider, as long as I can get AEBL, I'm using AEBL. The only time I'll be going to Nitro V is if I can't get AEBL. And right now, 5:30 seconds is what I'm having trouble with. So, yeah. Yeah, Bob Lovelace, yeah, it's a shame to, but hey, it all happens to us all. But he was anybody. If I was to look up to a knife maker, it would be Bob Lovelace. He's impressive. He really is. He was a true knife guy. Now, some of the current knife makers, I mean, Dave Beck. My hats off to Dave Beck. Great guy. I've had the pleasure of not meeting him, but actually having a email conversations on several occasions, and super nice guy. Um, um, Guy in England. We've also had several chats. Um, did the wood lore with Ray Mears. Wow, Alan Wood. He and I have had some conversations as well. Great guy. So, I mean, there's some great makers out there. I'm not saying that they're not, but I think Bob Lovelace was in a characterization of his own. He really was. He was well ahead of his time. Dan with the Dogwood Knives, great guy. Yeah, LT Wright. I mean, LT Wright has given me several pointers and advice on building chops because he's built so many of them. So I called him up and he was kind enough to give me some advice on mine. So I'm a great guy. But Bob Lovelace was just a different guy. He really was. I wish I had the chance to meet him. Okay, anything else? Dozer knife, yes, I've used dozer knives. Awesome heat treat on D2. Um, I'm not fond of his handles or his grinds, but yeah. Well, at some point, Mike, we may do a special run of Nessies, but it's probably going to be a while because I still have a bunch of those to get out. Once I get everybody caught up on the Nessies, then I may do a special run on them with some full flats and things like that. But unless maybe some of the wholesalers will order some for full flat, that's a possibility. Anything else? Excuse me. Had a frog there. David used to do that years ago. We'd do some hangout videos and do them live and stuff. Um, I'm not really a bushcrafter. I mean, I go camping, but I mean, as far as the term bushcraft, I don't even know what that means really. Um, but and survival, I I'm not a big fan of survival either. I think it's term overused myself. I mean, really, how often does any of us get in a survival situation? We may be uncomfortable for a few hours, but we're not in a survival situation. I think that term gets overused. It's a selling term. It's not really real. But yeah, I used to do a lot of that, and it's I don't know. If I like the people in it, then it's fun. But if it's just people I don't know, then it's not the best thing in the world for me. I'm not that I didn't enjoy it. Let's put it that way. Now, if it's with Blackie and Dan and those guys, we had a blast doing it. But some of the other ones I've been on, it wasn't too fun. Well, Jimmy, it takes probably, if you just started with one knife and worked through the whole process, it takes about 8 hours. That's the reason I can't do customs. Because by the time you do a custom, that one knife, going through the whole process, then you could have done 10 production knives. Heirloom, I don't know. Those guys that probably think about hunting at this point is already prepared. They probably already have all the cutlery they need. Um, I think the guys that's buying knives now would have bought a knife whether COVID-19 happened or not. I mean, my sales has not slacked off. I still get the same amount of sales as I always did every week. So um, I don't see any difference to answer your question. And I think that they're going to try to open the economy back up at some point, pretty soon, probably first of the month. I think. I don't. If they continue doing it this way, then the economy is going to cause more problems than COVID-19 ever thought about causing. So they got to do something. Um, and if they collapse the economy, then nobody's going to get reelected. So they're going to have to do something. Yeah, Gert had a berry pie today from my front yard. It was delicious. Yeah, I picked all kinds of wild stuff. Mushrooms, wild onions. I got wild onions in the yard too. Do a lot of medicinal things too. A lot of plantain, dog fennel, things like that. Made a lot of salve. There's all kinds of videos on my channel on that. Years ago, back when I had time to do stuff like that. Not a big fish eater, but my dad is a fisherman, and he's got a freezer full of catfish. I'm not a big fish eater, but every once in a while I eat some fried fish, catfish. I've used just about every knife you can think of. I've filleted fish with a WCSK. It's on video. Um, so any knife will do it. Dan Lutz filleted fish with a master Woodsman. So it just learn the knife, learn how to use it. I haven't heard about it, David, but I'm sure there has been some people who use a 3D printer on that. Most of those big companies, though, they use what they call reproduction um, machines. Basically, they take a shape and they create that shape multiple times over and over and over and over and over. That's why the handles are so generic, is because they mass produce those handles with using reprographic or something like that machines that they continue to repeat the same process over and over and over and over and over and over hundreds of thousands of times. So um, for some reason they don't worry about the ergonomics of it. Yeah, David, all my blades are water jetted to my specs. So I design a blade, they put it in a computer, then they do the water jet from my designs. That's the only way I can do production. Thanks to I don't know how to pronounce your name, Hicks, the GF Hicks, I think. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining in, and have a good night. George. Okay, George, have a good night, brother. Appreciate it. Um, well, we were supposed to do it first part of May, but again, this COVID-19, Blackie had to cancel. So he's going to try to do it again in out of southern Alabama in the fall. He hasn't set a date yet. So I know that the one that I was thinking about going to the Pathfinders with Dave Canterbury that he canceled. So I think everything's up in the air right now. So even Blade, I don't. They're saying the first week in August, but I don't think so. I don't think they're going to do it. I really don't. It would surprise me if they do, because I mean, at this point, trying to get product and everything for Blade, because can't get materials for one thing. I'm not the only one that's running into this. So I don't see it happening anytime soon. If at all, it's going to be fall sometime. Hey, well, I tell you what, there's a lot of people like that full flat Nessie for sure. Jameson, I don't like the knife making as much as I do the process of it. I never did really like making knives. I like the design part of it, the creativity of it. I enjoy using the knife, adjusting the designs. As far as making it, once I make it 2 or 3 times, I'd rather somebody else make it, to be honest with you. But that's part of it. There is no job in the world that you like every aspect of it. But making knives is as close as I've found for me. But the biggest thrill I get is taking a design and creating that design and seeing how well it functions and tweaking that design. That's what I get the most joy out of. The actual dirty, nasty grinding part of it, it's not that fun for me, but it's part of it. Have you seen my fingers? See the calluses on my fingers? The, the, the tips of my fingers, how they ground off? That one there sliced it to the bone with an SK coming out of a Kydex sheath the other day because I was tired. Didn't watch what I was doing. Sliced that knuckle right there on a piece of heat treat tool wrap, stainless steel tool wrap, to the bone. That was this week. So, see that? See the calluses on that hand, that finger? So, knife making is not a joy. It's not fun. It's a job. Yeah, it stays on nail clippers. Yeah, I trim my nails quite often on those belt sanders. I use earbuds. I don't have hearing protection. I use earbuds most of the time. My machines are pretty quiet. They're not really loud. David, my designs is more entailed. I would have to teach them how to do the grinds, and that's proprietary. I would have to teach them how to do the heat treats because that's proprietary, and I'm not ready to do that. But my designs go from pommel to tip. That includes handles and everything. And it's going to be difficult to get machines. I mean, you could do CNC machines, but to get that handmade feel on my knives, you just about have to make them by hand. And the only person I really know that even attempts to do handmade anymore is maybe LT. His knives are pretty close to handmade, um, and maybe Battle Horse, Dogwood. Their knives are pretty much handmade, but not many of them do handmade anymore. Most of them are done with CNC machines, and I just anyway. If somebody approached me, a larger company, and wanted me to design a knife for them, then I would consider it. But it would have to be some parameters put in there. Um, because if it's going to have a WC on it, it's going to be a WC. 10 fingers worth of time. Yeah. They're all scarred up, I tell you. No, Jimmy, everything right now is done by me. I do have somebody that does the leather, um, sews and stuff like that, but the Kydex, everything else, I do it myself. That's the reason I'm building a new shop is so I can have room to get some help. If you go back and watch the video from the beginning, um, I mean, right now my sales on retail is I have 160 in retail right now on the books to get out in 90 to 120 days, plus another 150 plus wholesale to get out in just 90 to 120 days. So you're looking at over 300 knives that I have to get out in 90 to 120 days. So yeah, there's no time to play around. There's no time for camping. There's no time for anything else that's fun, but making knives. And so I'm making the shop so that I can have enough room to get more people in to help me out. So yeah, I've doubled production every year since I started in 2012. So I've been going through growing pains for the last 8 years. I'm tired of growing pains, but I've enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. One time I'd like to get ahead of it a little bit. Yeah, Gert, the hands-on approach of knife making is going away, and it is sad. But again, um, we're we're I won't say victims of our own success. Blackie is always saying, "What's worse than failure? It's success." But it because once there's a demand to a certain level, you have to go mass produced, or you just can't keep up the demand. So it's either you decrease the demand by going up on pricing, or you go with higher volume, which is automated, to create more of a product to meet the demand. So I mean, it's a catch-22 situation. Ryan, I have several cookeries. Like I said earlier in the video, this is a cookery design that is sold by Great Northern Knives. There's also a cookery design called the Hawk's Tooth that's sold by um, Northern Elite. So if you go to my website, wcknives.com, and look under knives and go to the approved dealers or authorized dealers webpage, there are some wholesalers there that handle a lot of my designs. So if you look on their website, you'll be able to see them. And if you don't see them on Great Northern or on the Northern Elite's websites, then call them because they do have them. Yeah, Jimmy, I'm not complaining, man. I am not complaining. I am humble at the success of WC Knives. I really am. But yeah, if you look at this, this right here is 11 pages of orders that is current right now. This is just retail. This is not. This has nothing to do with wholesale. Again, there's another 150 in wholesale. It's just line after line after line after line. And if you look at something like this, you get just totally depressed. You would. But I look at it and I'm amazed. I really am that somebody would like my work that much to buy it from all over the world. I mean, I shipped to Australia, I shipped to New Zealand, England, Canada. I shipped one knife to Canada today. I've shipped to Japan, Russia, Ukraine. I have shipped just about everywhere in the world from a little old knife shop in East Texas, and that is just unbelievable to me. I'm amazed at it, and truly, truly humble. Sweden is another place that I sell a lot of knives to. Sweden. Yeah, Gert, that's probably going to be an option before long if you want to do it that way. But again, you get into specialty, and it takes equipment and time, and all of that costs money. So what is that cost going to be? The only way that that's going to come down is when you have volume. Yeah, David, it is. It is. All right, folks, we've gone over 2 hours now. Anybody got anything important for the next? I know I said this a few minutes ago, but I enjoy this stuff. But anyway, we probably need to call it a night here. We'll try to do this again. I don't know, everybody's kind of tied up inside, so I was trying to do this kind of break the monotony a little bit. But I'll try to do this at least once a month. Um, had scales come off. No, I never had that. I've had some lift from the handle that I've had to replace, but that was from an old process 8 years ago. And you know, it probably got a little hot when it did that. But anyway, no, I've had to replace two, and they were very early knives from that. But since then, I haven't had any problems at all. I use an epoxy that's pretty tough. In order to remove a handle, I have to grind it off, so it's that tough. But anyway, we're going to try to do this at least once a month. You know, during this I don't know if it's called a quarantine or stay at home thing. I'll try to do it a little bit more often, but we're going to try to do this as often as I can, and just kind of give you guys an idea of where I'm at and what things are going. And until then, you guys get in the backyard and whittle on a stick. Be sure and take a child with you and get the opportunity. And we'll catch you guys again soon.